Hi, I watched Vice Versa, and here's my review. Tale and Pun wake up in the body of Tess and Tan in a different universe. To travel back to their own universe, they need to find their key, another person that will help them with that. First, I want to talk about how confusing the summary for this drama is on my drama list. I think I read it twice and I could never understand what was going on. Also because the actors playing Tan and Tess don't appear next to our two main characters in the actors list. Or do they? I can't remember, but I was very confused. I couldn't understand anything. So starting the drama, episode 1, I was still very confused, couldn't really understand anything that was happening. And so I couldn't really get into it for a while because I just didn't understand the summary. However, starting episode 2, I really started getting into it. Now a bit more on the drama on itself. I would categorize this drama actually as a slow burn. It's not really a proper one, if I can say, but I would characterize it as such because I think they do take a moment to get together. However, this drama is very sugary, in a sense where there is lots and lots of maybe cute and cringe moments. So it doesn't really feel like a slow burn at the same time. Even if they are not together, there is enough content, I could say, between the two of them. So yeah, I do categorize it as a slow burn, but it's not really one, and if you don't like slow burns, you shouldn't be afraid of that because there is still plenty to enjoy. Next thing I want to mention is that we have working adults this time, no high school students, no university students. They are working or looking for a job in some cases, and so we do have them working a bit. However, for this part, if you haven't watched this drama, don't expect a lot on the working side. They actually do work a lot, if I can say, in the drama, but it's very simplistic in my opinion. And I don't think you can say that easy-fied, if I can say. So yeah, they are adults, but working adults, but don't expect too much realism from the working side. As one of the rare drama I was able to binge recently, I would absolutely recommend this drama to anyone who likes sugary, cute, fluffy, yeah, really dripping with cheesiness, if I can say. If you enjoy this kind of thing, I would totally recommend this drama to you because I'm sure you're going to enjoy. This is my case, so of course I did enjoy this drama a lot for this. However, if this is not really your thing, if you don't really like cute, cringy, and bleh kind of romances, if I can say, maybe it's not going to be the drama for you. You're probably not going to enjoy this at all. Because while I did give 9 out of 10 for this drama, it's not without flaws. It does have flaws, and sometimes I think big ones. But I was able personally to overlook them because of the two characters and the romance. So if you're not into the two characters and their romance, then probably you're not going to enjoy this at all. In this part, I'm mostly going to mention bad things or flaws or things that I didn't understand much and stuff like that, because I actually don't have much to add on the good things that I said previously. It's very cute, very fluffy, everything very cheesy. I think their relationship is very good. If I can add something, actually, is that they have such great communication, not on one matter, but otherwise they do have a very good communication, and it's the kind of communication I think is normal and that we should have more often in Dramaland. But like I said, while I did like this drama a lot and enjoyed it a lot, it's not without flaws, and so I'm going to start talking about them a bit more. First thing is the whole story around the keys. At the beginning of the drama, Tale starts looking for his key, and he's absolutely certain that Tan is his key. However, Tan is still Tan at this point, and so he tries testing him left and right to see if he is indeed his key. And at some point, Tan turns out to be really Pun, so to be someone from the same universe as him, so potentially being his key, right? And so I don't understand why Tale is so certain that Tan is the key at first, but once Tan becomes Pun, I don't understand why he suddenly doesn't think he is the key anymore. It's really weird. I feel like it's just something the writers did to make the story go forward, because first he has to be close to this Tan, right? So he goes after him thinking he is the key, but then they have to slow it down, because if Pun is known to be the key way too fast, then the story can't go on. So I feel like it was just made this way for this purpose, and so it's a bit weird when you watch the drama. Tell me if you felt the same, but yeah, really confusing on this part for me. Second thing is how I think things go a bit fast sometimes. I do believe that it is maybe done on purpose and because they want to make them as soulmates, something like that. You know, in relation with being the key of each other, something like that. But when you watch the drama, it does feel like it's going way too fast. I mean, what episode was it? I don't want to say something bad, but I think it's episode 3. They take a bath together. Episode 3 out of 12. And they are not together, and like I mentioned, it's kind of a slow burn, so they don't get together big for a while. Like, I understand you can be flirty and a lot of things and say a lot of cheesy stuff to one another, but a bath so quickly, and that's just one example among others, it's a bit quick. Third thing is how some things are just a bit weird. And the first point actually is in relation to what I was just saying, is when they want to learn about love, because they say they don't know about love. For Pun, it's a bit weird because he's an actor, so I believe he must have done something like that before, but okay, let's say he never did. I can't remember if he mentions anything about that. But any normal people would go read books or watch a movie or a drama to know more about love, right? Not kind of copy another couple by following them and doing stuff, pretending to be together, to be sweet to one another and things like that. It's very weird. And why I say it's related, it's because I think the bath moment takes place in there, or maybe I'm completely mistaken. But that's another example of things going too fast between the two of them, because they, especially Pun, pretends to be head over heels, if I can say, with Tale for this purpose. And second example of how weird things can be sometimes is how no one actually takes seriously that one of them could have really lost their memories, because they do clearly act like different people and they don't have some memories, some clear memories. So it's very weird that no one, at least one person, would take it seriously. And maybe it would have been a lot easier for Tale and Pun to pretend that they had amnesia, because this way everyone would have to tell them everything, and so they wouldn't have so much of a problem to pretend that they still remember something that they actually don't. Finally, and this is a point that really bothered me quite a lot, if I am honest, and especially since it arrives towards the end, so it's most clear as well in my memory, is all the talks about finding each other in their universe. So, okay, going back to your universe and all, I understand that they want to make it romantic and all, but in today's age, with phones, computers, internet, we have home addresses too. Why would you talk in such a desperate tone? Like, first thing I do is I'm going to look for you. I won't stop until I find you. Like, okay, but give your phone number, give your mail address, give your home address. You can give all that, and then finding each other is not going to be a problem anymore. So I really couldn't buy into all these moments because, yeah, it's romantic, okay, it's cute, but it doesn't really make sense. It's really not ideal. It works, it can work, but it's, yeah, it can work, you know, it's not ideal, clearly. But ultimately, when you arrive at the end of the episode, you finally understand, or at least it is the case for me. You tell me about you. But personally, it was the case for me. I finally understood it by the end of the drama, why they did it this way. And it's because they wanted them to meet again in the cafe. I thought about it as well beforehand, that probably they were going to meet again in this cafe. But I didn't think they were going to do it especially like this. And so you can tell it's just the writer's will to have them meet again in this cafe, and so they can't give each other numbers or home addresses or anything, because otherwise it would completely destroy how they could meet again in this cafe, right? So it's sad, it's a bit sad, because the story is a lot about writing and writing a movie and things like that, and so they go through a lot of trials, if I can say, to make their scenario a lot better, to make their script better. And it's a bit sad that this drama falls short on this side, actually. It's a bit of an irony, right? I'm pretty sure no one found it very logical when they watched it, and that's the main point, actually, why I couldn't give more to this drama, more than 9, because while I think the relationships and actually every character in this drama is very likable and you really get attached to everyone, for real, I can understand why Pun would not want to go back to his own universe and would want to stay there. I'm pretty sure I would feel the same. So while I love all the characters, all their relationship, and everything really that's around the characters, the plot in itself is very, can I say uneven? Wonky. Can I say wonky? It's a bit... Anyway, the story in itself is a bit weird. It doesn't always work, and when it does, it works, but in a weird way. Like, okay, let's say that. Let's say it can work this way. So, okay, actually for me, it is more of a character-driven story than a plot-driven story. It wants to be both, I think, but no, not for me. It's clearly character-driven for me. And that's about it for me for Vice Versa. Don't hesitate to tell me your own thoughts about it. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not? I'm really curious to know about this one, because I know I did enjoy it a lot and gave it a really good grade. But at the same time, I do believe it is quite flawed and maybe doesn't deserve a 9 out of 10. Maybe a bit less. But sometimes the heart has its reasons. And yeah, I did enjoy it a lot anyway. Also, I forgot to mention that the acting is very good in this drama. Honestly, everyone is pretty decent. So good surprise on this, and nice little cameos throughout the whole drama. It's really nice to have so many actors appear, even sometimes for just a minute. It's just nice to have so many actors, you know, appearing just for a short time. So yeah, again, if you haven't watched this drama, I absolutely recommend. If you are more character driven and like very cheesy stuff, because it is very cheesy, I have to say it again, it's very fluffy. very cheesy. So if you like that, go ahead. However, if you're more of a plot driven person first and also don't like cheesy stuff, then I will recommend you against trying this drama because I'm honestly pretty certain you're not going to like it. But on these last words, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!